Well, thank you very much. It is great to be here in Pratt, and especially here at the community college. I was here just a month ago hunting pheasants, and we had a successful hunt, and I always enjoy being here, and we'll be dining here tonight, so looking forward to that too. Yeah, this project that this is a part of is an effort to address fentanyl overdoses or fentanyl reactions in the state of Kansas. Unfortunately, we are up to more than 2,000 Kansans who've died from fentanyl overdoses or fentanyl reactions, and a huge percentage of those are people who took a pill that someone handed them or that they ordered online. They thought it was a prescription drug like a Xanax or something like that, a Percocet. And quite often you hear really tragic cases of students who, one student will say to the other, hey, I use this to stay up all night preparing for an exam. I'm going to take one here. I've got an extra one for you. And then one person ends up dead the next morning. The other person's fine. And that happens so often, so tragically. In fact, one of our KBI, Kansas Bureau of Investigation agents, his son died in exactly that situation. Friend handed him a pill, thought it was completely safe. But these counterfeit pills are often laced with fentanyl, and the consequences are just so horrific. Anyway, my office is trying to address the fentanyl problem with everything we can think of. We've got the first team of 4 fentanyl sniffing dogs in the Midwest, which are deployed here in Kansas. We increased the penalties for dealing fentanyl. And we're also doing public service announcements. Some of you might have seen them on TV, just telling people, hey, don't take a pill unless you get it from a pharmacy or a doctor. But the fourth thing we're doing is this. And these are boxes of naloxone, which is also known as Narcan. And these can save lives. In fact, they routinely do save lives. If a person's suffering a fentanyl reaction, typically you're going to see signs like unresponsiveness, slow breath or not breathing at all, pinpoint very small pupils, and maybe cold or clammy skin. And when those symptoms are noticed, usually it's just a matter of minutes before the person dies. But if someone is nearby with some naloxone, that can and frequently does save the person's life. So we have deployed 40 of these boxes. These are old repurposed newspaper boxes, which you used to see all over the place 20 years ago. Repurpose them and use them as places where a person can come up for free and just grab a naloxone box. And I carry one in my truck at all times. I encourage everybody to do that. Just have one in your vehicle. We're using college campuses across the state to host these boxes for a couple reasons. One is people usually can figure out where the student union is or where they can get there. They're available for everybody, not just for students and faculty. But also because sometimes students are ones who fall prey to these counterfeit pill deals. And so it's free to anyone, and I encourage everyone to have one nearby, and certainly want to make all the students aware that this will be here in this location. And of course we've made provisions so it'll be refilled constantly. It's just so important because, by deploying these boxes across the state, maybe we'll save 1 life, maybe we'll save 10 lives, who knows over time. But the bottom line is if we can save lives by doing this, we ought to do it. And it's kind of like a defibrillator, right? Which you use when someone has a heart attack. If you have the life-saving equipment, you may as well use it. You may as well make sure everybody knows where it is. So that's why we've done this. This is box number 12 or 13. And we should have all 40 of them deployed across the state, trying to spread them out geographically so everybody has access to them. We should have all 40 done within 2 or 3 weeks, we hope. So anyway, thank you so much to Pratt Community College for allowing us to put one of these here. Really appreciate the support of the faculty and the board and staff, the mayor. Thank you for being here. And just encourage you to let other people know that this is here, and if anybody wants a free naloxone kit to carry in their car, they can come here and grab one, because you never know. Hopefully you never have to use it, but maybe you'll pull up to a gas station sometime and somebody's having a reaction right there. So good to have them there because you could save a life. So anyway, so happy to be here. So happy to have you guys hosting this distribution point. And I can take any questions if you've got them. Otherwise, thank you for coming. Any questions? Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sure. Absolutely. Should we do a picture?
Yeah, sure we can.
All right.
Can we ask questions on a national level?
Sure.
Have you been, what have you been doing on a national level to help with Kansas?
Yeah, there have been a couple of things. The Attorney General these days gets involved in a lot of, state attorneys general get involved in a lot of litigation. So during the Biden administration, my office sued the administration because on a couple of occasions they were doing things that seemed to be illegal with some of the executive orders. Every president's going to get that. Nowadays, the state attorneys general have become kind of the litigation wing of kind of the opposing party, so to speak. But it's not always partisan. Sometimes it's not at all. Like I can give you an example of where Kansas is actually suing the Trump Department of Justice in one case right now. And it's probably one that some of you, if you're firearms enthusiasts like me, might find interesting. I'll just give you this example, but I think it's a fascinating one. So the National Firearms Act of 1934 said that suppressors and short-barreled rifles, that this was back in the time of the gangsters of the 1930s, that those are especially dangerous. And so in order to have one of those, you have to pay a $200 tax, and you have to register with the federal government, ask the federal government for permission to get a stamp for these things. Anyway, fast forward to 1937, the U.S. Supreme Court says, okay, this is an exercise of the taxing power of Congress, found in Article 1 of the Constitution, but it's only an exercise of the taxing power. If there's no tax, the federal government can't do this. Fast forward to 2025, the big beautiful bill that President Trump pushed got rid of the tax. It eliminated the $200 tax. And so therefore, according to the United States Supreme Court, there's no basis for the regulation anymore. However, the current Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms under the Department of Justice continues to force people to ask Mother May I to the federal government if you want to have a suppressor. And so Kansas and 14 other states have sued the U.S. Department of Justice saying, hey guys, this is gone now. You can't force Americans to ask permission to get a suppressor. And a suppressor, for those of you who haven't used one, is just hearing protection. It's not like, a James Bond movie where it makes it silent. It just makes it quiet enough that you're not going to give yourself tinnitus in the ears by firing that gun. So anyway, that's an example of where we're, and it's just one of many lawsuits where we're trying to hold the federal government accountable, because sometimes the agencies, make a mistake, or they misinterpret the law, or they do whatever, or maybe they just get overzealous on some cause. So yeah, we're doing things like that, and a whole bunch of issues. So my office has sued Snapchat, or the company that makes, Snap is the parent company, because they advertise their app as being safe for kids under 14 and under, when in fact the app, as accessible by those individuals, has lots of highly sexualized content and things like that. So we're part of a multi-state lawsuit. We're one of several states, but we're suing on our own in that case. We brought a lawsuit against Pfizer a couple of years ago, and that suit is still pending. Pfizer, when they marketed their COVID vaccine, they specifically said it was safe for pregnant women. And we have the authority, the Attorney General has the authority to protect Kansas consumers against deceitful marketing. And that's one of the most powerful tools that the Attorney General's office has. So anytime anybody, it doesn't matter what you're manufacturing or what you're selling, if you tell Kansas consumers something that you know to be false, then the Attorney General can hold you accountable. In that case, Pfizer had their own study which indicated that with pregnant rats, more than half suffered pregnancy complications, including litter stillbirths, entire litter deaths. And then they went on to do a study on 458 pregnant women, 458 pregnant women Some of them were given placebo, some of them were given the real COVID vaccine. And again, half had some complication to either the fertility of the mother, but or some other factor of the pregnancy, but 10% resulted in miscarriages. 10%. And yet Pfizer knew this, and they represented to the public, hey, take our vaccine instead of the other guy's vaccine. It's safe to take if you're pregnant. And so that was just one of several false statements they made. And so we're in litigation right now to try to recover some money for Kansans and hopefully compensate Kansans who made that choice to take that particular vaccine. So stuff like that.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so that's kind of a quick summary of some of the things we do in the office. And then we also, of course, we prosecute a lot of cases, a lot of smaller counties like this one. If there's a homicide, we'll ask our office to take it. We do the criminal appeals for most Kansas counties. So even if the local county attorney does the initial prosecution in trial court, if there's an appeal, the Attorney General's office will handle it from there. So anyway, it's a great honor to be your Attorney General. I really love the job, and it gives me an excuse to come out to Pratt, Kansas, and see you and have some pizza tonight. So looking forward to that.
You took one of our own.
Yeah. Nate Humble's working for us, so we're going to have some humble pie tonight. Looking forward to that indeed. Well, thank you again. Really appreciate it.